Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to Beyond the Forecast live streaming podcast.
What's
Hi,
up?
everybody.
Hi.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Michael Stevens,
I'm meteorologist Haley Fiaschetti.
and she was on vacation last week, so this
sure
is why we didn't have a
was.
podcast last week. But thank you, everybody, for being here.
Yes.
Hopefully, audio is working this time. We had a little bit of a scuffle last time,
Just a bit.
so let's double check this real
New
quick.
studio, new vibes.
New building,
New building.
new setup. But hopefully everybody's doing well.
I can hear us.
I can hear us. Cool, it's working great. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's staying cool.
We do have autofocus on things, though.
Oh, no. Look at her face. She's got a little box. Yeah. Totally forgot to turn that off.
That's
It's
okay.
fine, though. Why it wasn't on last time, I don't know. I wonder why it's like that.
I don't
can
know.
fix it, though. But then you guys would see it. She's got an autofocus box.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Okay. Keep talking.
Okay.
I'm going to fix it.
So how's the weather out there, guys?
Don't be worried. The screen's going to go black for half a second, everybody.
Be a little worried.
Don't be worried.
We're just going to fix some things.
There you go. Should be good now.
Okay. Oh, our screen is...
Yeah, I know. I got to deactivate it and then activate it. Oh, there you go. See, look, that's what I changed.
There it is.
So, menu. Oh,
Not yet.
not yet. See, there's always something going on.
There's always something going on. Bridget said, "Hi everyone, and it's finally nice out." And it is finally nice out. You know, it's still white balance, but I think you have to reactivate it.
Reactivate, deactivate, activate. Oh. Now it's showing you guys everything that I just fixed again.
Oh gosh.
You guys broke it. No, I'm joking.
No.
It was me.
Yeah, it was hot these past couple of days.
Is it back on?
Nope. It says protect
Yeah.
images.
Protecting images.
Yeah, I got stopped. I saw your little Facebook post of saying that
Okay.
how you'd rather it be cold than warm, Michael.
Yes.
Which I actually agree with you as well, because I've always had the whole stance of it's easier to warm up than it is to cool down stance.
Yes.
And it was hot the past couple of days coming back from Massachusetts, where it was pretty comfortable, similar temperatures to what we got here. And then all of a sudden it being just stepping out of the airport and feeling the mugginess was probably one of my least fun things I've ever done in my life. But that's okay, because we got to enjoy some nice sunny skies this weekend and really feel summer-like temperatures, because everyone was annoyed that we haven't really seen those really, really warm temperatures, and it finally got that. We're still seeing your menu.
I know.
Okay.
It doesn't want to go back.
Oh.
There you go.
We're here now. Okay.
We're better. Sorry, chat.
Yeah.
But yes, so let's talk about that, shall we? The heat.
Yes.
It was mind-numbingly hot.
Yes.
And so I posed the question as Haley was talking about yesterday. Do you prefer this heat or cold? And a lot of people, it was kind of split 50-50.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying we prefer the heat and humidity. And others were saying that, we prefer that over 30 degrees or 9 degrees.
Right.
And I'm against that.
Yeah.
And the reason being is scientifically, you should prefer the cold.
Yeah.
Because it is much easier to warm up. You can throw on layers. You could.
Because your body's always trying to stay warm.
It takes less energy to warm up.
Yes.
It takes much more energy to cool down.
Yeah,
And it's
it
the
does.
laws of thermodynamics. So when you look at a cold room and a warm room, warm molecules are all spaced out.
Yep.
Cold molecules are condensed
Condensed.
and falling.
Yes.
Cold, denser air. So if you're going to warm that up, all you have to do is space them out, and warm air takes over. If you're trying to collect all the molecules and bring them together to condense them and make it colder, it takes far more energy.
It does, yeah.
Hence why you see rolling blackouts when you have heat waves like this, because everyone's flipping on their cold air makers You don't have this issue when everyone's flipping on their warm air makers.
Exactly. Yeah, it's easier to warm.
It is much easier to warm than it is to cool.
Yes.
Because cooling is you got like two processes going on. One, you have to make heat in order to cool down.
Yes.
Whereas if you're making heat, you're just making heat. So
you can,
a little bit different.
It's always like when it's cold out and everyone's like, oh, just like run a lap outside and you'll get warm. There's no like, besides like dip in the water.
Yes.
That's the solution for when it's super hot out.
That my wife spent 7 hours in the pool, I think, on Sunday.
Good for her.
Because it was, very hot. I didn't realize how hot it was Sunday.
Yeah, it was
I
hot.
stayed inside in my Dracula cave, trying to stay cool, and then it got to the point where the dogs were not liking it and the house got hot, and so I finally took an air window unit from my gaming room and brought it downstairs and finally made it decent. But I don't know if it's age, I don't know if I've always been this way, but I hate hot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a hot sleeper, so I've always hated the summer to begin with because it's just not fun.
That's
at
me
all.
too. I always need a fan. I always need it cool.
Yeah, I need it cold. I prefer cold because I'm also just I can always wear a sweater and stay warm. Then
too.
once you're in a bathing suit, once you're down to skin, there's no other layer to take off.
The other thing that I've always experienced, some people might know this, but or might have this happen in the Great Lakes. So if some people probably jumped in the lake this past weekend, which the lakes are still very, very chilly.
Yeah.
They're not warm by any means. But as a kid growing up, if I jumped in those waters, I was cold for a week.
Right.
No joke. It's bone chilling cold.
You felt your bones were cold.
Which I guess is good to cool down, but at the same time, that's not really safe.
That's actually how you get sick. Yeah, we were in Bear Lake, and that lake was very refreshing. It was cold going in.
Yeah.
But then after it's like a pool. It's cold going in, then 5 minutes your body gets adjusted to it, and it feels more refreshing. And yeah, Bear Lake wasn't bad at all.
But then your body starts to heat back up after.
Yeah, and then you feel the hot. By the end of the day, I was sunburned and I was hot.
Can I take the heat away? No, we cannot take heat away.
No.
Today will be better. We were going to do this out on the deck, but it is still very, very muggy out there.
Yeah, that mugginess hasn't gone away just yet.
And the new building, it is like a meat locker in here.
It's cold.
Downstairs especially, because that's where the new studio is. So they're trying to find ways of keeping it cold. Hot is the worst. My Nordic blood prefers cold. I'm starting to think the Czech and Irish in me prefers cold too.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's, to be honest with you, it's just how, and it's again sciencing, and this is no way weather related for the most part, but it's just where you grow up, your body evolves to things, right?
Right.
So when you get older, obviously
if you've been staying in the same place for a long time,
your blood is kind of adjusted to that. I mean, look at it. If you were used to northern Michigan, you go to Florida for the first time, yes, it's going to be extremely warm for you.
Exactly.
Your body's not adjusted to it.
It also just was just really warm for us for this time of year in general.
It was.
So it's
we broke tons of records on Sunday. I believe a few of them yesterday too.
Yeah, a few Monday.
I mean, Gaylord set their all-time low high.
Yeah.
Which sounds funny, but their overnight low, they only got to 78 on Sunday night, and that's ridiculous for Gaylord. But that was their all-time.
I know it was weird this morning on MTM saying about the temperatures, and because yesterday when I got in, people I think Traverse City was still at 83 degrees.
Yeah, so I was driving in. It was 84 at 8:30 in the morning. I was like, this is not right.
Yeah,
but it was hot yesterday.
It was hot yesterday, and then this morning I come in and the temperature is only at 70 degrees, and I was like, oh, it's gonna feel so comfortable this morning, everyone, and it kind of did.
It did. I mean,
especially with the clouds.
And that's why we always say the heat index. The heat indices were 105-ish plus in spots on Sunday. That's dangerous. That's straight up dangerous. And people are like, what? People always ask, why do we talk about the heat index? Because the heat index is what it's tricking your skin. It's tricking your body.
I call it the feels like temperatures.
Right.
It's just easier. It's kind of like when we don't say dew point a lot, we say feels like. Like, it's just easier to explain that, like, that's
It's
what you're
the opposite
feeling.
of wind chill.
Exactly.
So, like, if you have wind chill in the winter, you have feels like in the summer.
Yeah.
But, again, it's tricking your body because if your body's trying to sweat and cool you off, the problem is with the heat index, it feels like 105 rather than 97 or whatever. Your body's like, oh my God, it's 105. I can't sweat. So it's tricking your
Right.
body, and that's just going to make you overheat quicker.
Yeah.
So the heat index is real and very
Important.
important.
Yeah, it's important to know.
just like wind chill. But a lot of people are like, why do you tell us that? It doesn't matter. It does matter because
Yeah.
that's how your body perceives the temperature.
And it's how you know, like, the difference. Like, when people, I saw, like, a few comments, and, like, I agree with this, too, in some ways. Like, oh, like, I like 87 degrees, but not muggy 87. I like dry heat
Oh, yeah.
87. And it's like,
It's very
I
different.
completely agree.
Yeah.
Like, because that's when your heat index is 87 and 87. It's what it is. It's what it feels like.
Right.
And that's a huge difference. Like, it being 87, and then it is just like wind chill. When it's 25 degrees outside, okay, 25 degrees. But if it feels like -2 outside, that's cold.
That's cold.
Like,
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a difference there. When it's 30 degrees outside and it feels like 15,
That's terrible.
you know the difference.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with the heat index. And that's why we kept on talking about it. And that's why I thought it was crazy. A few of my friends went to the Pit Spitters on Sunday.
Yeah. That
What
would
a
be
mess.
Yeah, that would not be fun. Sitting at a baseball game where you're fully exposed.
Yeah, they said it was hot, it was sweaty, it was muggy, it was... And then I feel bad for the baseball players because they're on turf, which just, like,
Which is even worse, yeah.
traps that heat.
It's not actual. Another reason why outdoor turf is never fun. It collects the heat,
Yeah.
whereas, grass and sand and dirt collects the heat. Or I should say, eats the heat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very different. So, yeah, that's kind of what we've been dealing with. Now, good news is there is an end to this heat.
Yes.
It was just a short heat wave, if you will. Today, we'll have a cold front kind of moving through, changing things around. Still muggy as of right now, but it'll happen throughout the day.
Yeah,
so
you're
don't worry.
already seeing the wind really change this morning to the northwest for the UP.
Drier, cooler air.
Yeah, and that is bringing in that cool air that we need. You already, like, it's the high in Sault Ste. Marie is only going to be 70.
Yeah.
So it's like the automatic switch off was
Where we're at
very
right
telling.
now is essentially where your highs will be for pretty much.
Yeah,
much
we're
northern
not
Michigan.
warming up a bunch.
I think the
one
Central
area-
Lower is the only one that will get in the mid 80s.
Yeah, right now Mount Pleasant's forecasted to be 89 degrees.
all-
That's where severe weather might be tonight.
And that's
so.
where you get the the wide range of temperatures that we tell you about. Like it'll be 70 in Newberry, but 90 today in Mount Pleasant. So
Yeah.
it's the cold front, all in timing. But yeah, it'll make for much nicer conditions. So open the
Yes.
windows today once that cold front moves through and air the house out.
Yeah, tomorrow morning, gonna be amazing.
50s and 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Much
It's gonna
better
feel like
sleeping
a
weather.
brand new day.
Brand new day. So yeah, that's kind of what we've been dealing with here the last few
Yeah.
days. Heat, summer in northern Michigan, we made it. So I mean, yes, don't get me wrong. I enjoy summer. I do
course.
enjoy warmth. It's just for me, and I'm sure many people. Once you get above 80, hey, I'm not all about it.
I'm
You'll find me
past.
inside.
Yeah.
But let's talk about summer. We're here now.
Yeah.
Still have severe weather.
Yep.
We were in here early Saturday covering severe weather for you all, and that's what set off this warm weather.
Yeah.
But our pattern is still neutral. We're not La Nina, El Nino.
Yeah, we talked about the transition.
Did I say La
phase.
Nino, El Nino? La Nina,
La Nina.
El Nino.
Yeah.
So we're kind of neutral phase, which
We
just
are, yeah.
means average for the most part. We see our little bit of warm-ups like this. We see our little bit of cool-downs like
And that's
most
mostly
of
jet
beginning
stream.
of June.
Yeah.
But we're kind of right in the middle. And it goes back to, we had the sun beyond the forecast. We talked about May and also the spring climate report from
Yeah.
National Weather Service in Gaylord. We were kind of right at average and even slightly below average. That's what made our spring and everything so happy outside. I have flowers growing that I haven't seen in
Really?
years. Yeah, they're
It
super
did
loving
like
it.
bloom really, really nice.
But this is what you have with a gradual spring.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had a gradual spring
I think
in
that's
forever.
what also like what like kind of triggered a lot of like the angriness about heat
Right.
is because we did have, like, compared to the past couple of years, more of a traditional,
Yeah.
gradual, cool spring. And
Why our lakes are not warm?
yeah, and I always talk about last May when we had that, like, really, really warm Memorial Day, and that's what everyone kept on talking about because
Right.
it felt like summer was here immediately. We didn't have that, and then everyone was emailing us, asking us, why is it so cold? I'm tired of this. I want summer to start. And now it's here fast, and they're like, wait, everyone's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
That's too
I
hot,
got
too quick.
stopped so many times at Meijer yesterday for people asking me to turn off the heat, and I was like, guys, you wanted this.
Yeah. This is what you get.
Yeah.
So, yeah, here we are in summer. For the most part,
Yes.
kind of where we should be. The last 4 days we're not where we should be.
No.
But the storms too. I mean, look at those storms that developed in North Dakota and came over this weekend. Man, that's probably the biggest hail I've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, that was a good size hail.
Here in Traverse City was half dollar size, inch and a half. Some spots saw ping pong ball size hail.
Which is crazy.
I haven't seen that in
I don't think I've ever seen that.
16 years. Well, your first hail experience was here.
I know. And I missed it. I was on a flight when the hail happened, so I didn't even get to see the hail this time around.
Yeah.
I came back and it was just rain on the ground. I was like, oh.
We got a lot of rain.
Yeah.
A lot of rain. So yeah, that is what triggered our heat, was a double warm front and the storms. But yes, we will be cooling off. And summer, projectively, is going to be average.
Average.
There shouldn't be anything.
Which is good.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, it's been a long time since we've had average, but it doesn't mean we won't have our stints of warm like we just saw. It doesn't mean we won't have our stints of cold,
Of
which we will
course.
see. But with our current pattern, you're going to see these low pressures. Another
Yeah.
thing that people kept, and we mentioned it last week, or I mentioned it 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry. A lot of people have been asking, why have we been so windy? Why have we been so rainy? And the thing is,
Yeah.
we're in the middle of the road. So when you're in the middle of the road, you get system after system after system after system. We had 3 low pressure systems last week.
We're kind of just moving around a lot. Like
It's just, we are the bullseye right now from anything northwest and southwest. It's landing on Michigan, and that's our pattern,
Yeah.
unfortunately. That's neutral. So we are seeing more wind. We're seeing more rain. We're seeing more average temperatures. This is where northern Michigan should be. That's neutral.
Yeah.
So we are not swinging to the extremes. We're not swinging to
No,
the
we're staying right on track.
cold or hot. It's
Yeah.
right where we should be. So that's kind of where we should be, unless Mother Nature decides to pull the trigger on El Nino early, which I don't think she will. But
I don't think she will either.
I haven't
but
seen anything
hey,
saying
she's done crazier things.
otherwise. We also had our, not first hurricane, but our first major hurricane of
Yeah.
the year, Eric. Eric went from a tropical storm to a Category 4 in less than 24 hours.
Crazy.
That's wild. A storm went from 70 mile an hour winds to 150 mile an hour winds in 24 hours.
That means
That's rapid
really,
intensification.
Yeah, rapid.
That is pure textbook rapid intensification.
Yeah, and that's because the heat, while we might not have been seeing the heat here in Michigan,
It's
areas were seeing the heat.
so what you can take from that and its location is the waters are warming, turning it into El Nino, because that's right where those
Yep.
waters come from.
Yeah.
So when those waters warm, they head to the west, and then it starts turning into warmer weather circulating back to the north. That's El Nino. So what that tells you right now is the waters on the west side of
warming.
Mexico are
Yes.
warming. To have a hurricane this early, rapid intensification, yeah, there's
It's huge.
there's some warming going on that's going to be
Yes.
hitting us later in the year, winter time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of key one to take from that. But two, man, off to a busy
Hurricane
start.
season starting. Yeah. Kind of crazy.
The
Hurricane
se-
season's my favorite season personally. Cause I like watching from a distance.
From a distance, yeah.
I
Sorry
don't
if
wanna
you
be
have
a
to deal
part
with
of
them.
it,
I don't like
but-
being a part of them either. But the Sahara dust
Yeah.
is keeping the Gulf quiet for right now.
It is. Yeah.
So you're welcome. That's not anything new. It's a pattern. It happens.
Yeah.
Dust flies across in the jet stream, and it actually suppresses hurricane development.
Yeah.
But this happened last year too.
It did. Yeah.
We went through months of quiet weather in the Gulf, and then all of a sudden, So
It was like, what, remember like last year? Wasn't it like 3 hurricanes like in a row? We're just like all brewing together.
morning, Jamie, Judy. So yeah, that's kind of what we're eyeballing
Yeah.
at the moment when it comes to hurricanes. Eric was there and gone as quickly as it rapidly intensified. It rapidly de-intensified.
Happens to the best of us.
Ran into some not so pleasant air just north of Acapulco.
And well, and that's the thing too. When it's pretty earlier season of hurricane season, is you can see a rapid intensification, but a lot of things need to be right for
Correct.
it to stay that way for a long period of time. It's just like when we saw those thunderstorms over in North Dakota and everything. The reason why was because we were all under the same
Jet streak,
situation. Where a lot of the times you don't see such a strong force move from there to us. We always talk about how like the lakes kind of break apart us from Wisconsin, even more so when it comes to all the way out west to us here in Michigan.
There was an extremely strong westerlies, so I'm not going to try to lose you in all this, but there was a big trough that basically went from west to east,
right.
and it was extremely strong westerlies in the atmosphere. So those storms popped along that boundary in North Dakota and then just rode those westerlies into northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, the UP, and then we were kind of the exit site.
We were, yeah.
So that's where those storms came, and then those storms pretty much died. They ran a little bit into Canada, but
Not much.
we were the end result. We were downstream of everything happening in the atmosphere, and that's why those storms made it this past weekend. But on the flip side of that, did you see what happened in Montana?
No.
They got tons of snow.
Really?
Yes, June 22nd, and they got 5 inches of snow.
So, guys,
Tell
it
me
could
that's
be
not a
Montana.
June 22nd, they got 5 inches of snow. They had winter
Wow.
weather advisories.
You
Now,
know, I
granted,
did
it's
actually.
in the foothills of the Rockies, but still.
Now that
June
you say
22nd.
that, I did see that because I saw a picture of the National Weather Service alerts,
Yeah.
and I saw I don't think it was the record, but I think it was like one of the top like most heat advisories they've ever put out for like such a big location, because it was all the way from Minnesota to upstate New York had heat advisories in effect. So it was like,
And then on the backside of it, it was
and
extreme
then
cold.
and then I saw that the people being like, oh, but don't worry, there's still a winter warning in effect.
And that's
Cool.
kind of the dynamics of these low pressure systems now. Is you had the extreme heat in front of it, 90s, triple digits, and then on the backside of it, people in North Dakota were going from 90s to 60s in a matter of hours.
Right.
Like that's kind of extreme.
That is.
Cold fronts
Crazy.
shouldn't be doing that. Warm fronts shouldn't be doing it as widespread.
No, we only see those like I want to say maybe a handful times a year for us. Not even that extreme, but like a 70 to a 50.
Yeah, pictures of a wedding that was covered in snow in Montana.
Wow.
I can't imagine. Can you imagine?
No, imagine.
It'll be late June. We'll have our wedding.
Yeah,
It'll
we're gonna
be
have
fine.
our summer wedding, and then suddenly
Snow.
snow.
My
You
mom's.
know what? That would be like a meteorologist. Like
First off,
worse.
I do have to say happy birthday to my mother.
Oh,
it's her birthday. She is in Lake Tahoe.
Oh,
I got a random picture from her yesterday. She's like, "Look at this!" And there were people swimming in the water, and then in the background, snow and mountains. I was like, "Where are you?" She's like, "I'm in Lake Tahoe." I was like, "Oh," and it
Love
looked
that.
absolutely gorgeous.
but just snow in the distance.
Yeah, I was like, I
Alright.
don't know where you're at, but it's
You're
beautiful.
like, I'm confused.
She's like, "I'm in Lake Tahoe." I was like,
You've
"Whoa."
confused me.
You've confused. Her friend took her to Lake Tahoe for her birthday.
Fun.
I was like, "You do you, Mom.
Yeah.
Have fun."
Go, mom.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, that's
Um,
awesome.
So I was like, I can't imagine swimming somewhere, but in the distance you just see snow caps.
No, I think it would actually confuse me.
my body would be
I would
so
say I think my body would
confused.
be really confused. It's like, am I
Swimming.
cold or am I warm at the moment? I don't
Right.
know.
I have no idea what it would be doing. But I laughed so hard when I saw that.
That is funny.
I ran 4 miles. It's real humid still. Yes, it is. We were going to be out on the balcony doing this outside
Yeah.
today.
Good for you
Um,
for running 4 miles in this heat.
I couldn't do it.
No.
But the mugginess, my body is not a fan.
No.
And hence why it's back and forth in Traverse City. I
Mm-hmm.
left Cadillac, it was very sunny. I get to Traverse City and the clouds were here. There's
Yeah.
a little bit of a lake breeze in town that
There
is
is, yeah.
creating the cloud cover at times.
People are running white.
But as soon
outside
as the
the studio
sun comes
right
out,
now.
oh my.
It gets hot
muggy.
fast. Yeah.
So I will be waiting that cold front with open arms.
Yes.
So yeah. If there's anything you guys want to ask us about anything we just discussed, feel
Yeah.
free.
Let us know.
You're running 15 for Cherry Fest? Nice. Hats off to people who run.
So true. You know what? So true.
I can't run.
My short legs. I'm too short to run, actually.
We used to run in college, back to my baseball and hockey days. Coach used to used to make us run a 3.3, and we had to do it under 21 minutes.
Okay.
And I could do it. Like, it was fine.
Well, it's like kind of fast.
But at the end of it, I'm like, nope, I'm never running again.
Yeah.
I hate running. I can do it. I just don't like it.
I don't like it.
I will bike. I'll rollerblade. I just do not like running. Hats off to who all do. Our boss used to be a cross country runner and huge runner. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Want to be a runner. But
I don't
can't.
even want to be.
Like, do you ever know? Like, do you ever see like the like?
There's so many other fast ways to do things.
Do you ever see like the marathon videos every time like the Boston Marathon comes around or New York Marathon comes around? I always there's like the tiny, and I'm not talking like a big part, like an eighth of me that's always like every year like maybe I should start running.
And my brother-in-law,
And
like,
I
he
never
just up and
do.
started running and did marathons and stuff like that. And my sister started doing half marathons. I was like, you guys, no. Like, I don't want to do that.
I know, I didn't.
Good for you guys. Applause. But
yeah, no.
I'll sit there and cheer
no,
you
I'm
from
definitely
the
biking.
sidelines.
Like, I like biking.
Right?
That's more fun. Like, no.
Which, by the way, I biked Mackinac Island for the first time.
Oh, fun.
Me and my sister went last week for the Lilac Parade, which if anybody watched, it was super fun.
Nice.
But there was a lot of things. I went to me and my sister got there on Saturday. We walked like 10 miles. I don't know why we did it, but we did it. We went up to Arch Rock. Very nice.
Yeah.
Walked up to like the Grand Hotel and stuff like that, and blah blah blah.
You know, I've still never been to Mackinac Island.
Really?
Really?
That needs to change.
I know.
It's fun. It's fun. You know, as much as when I was a kid, a lot of people gave it a lot of
flack.
Yeah, for, you know, the thing it is. But I mean, to be honest with you, it is what you make it.
Yeah.
We absolutely had a blast doing the thing. Like, we just up and randomly said, let's run some bikes.
Yeah.
So we got some bikes and we biked it. Granted, we had like half-hour deadline to where we had to be, and it was right where we started.
Oh.
So I was like, well, let's see if we can make it back.
Okay.
We were 15 minutes late, but nobody gave me flack for it.
But still.
But it was a good time. It's 8
Nice.
miles. Like, you get to see South Side, West Side, North Side, East Side.
The island.
Fun. The island.
Yeah. No. It's
But
on
it was
the
a good time.
list. Nice.
It was a blast.
Good.
When you guys say the moisture won't make it to the ground, even though it shows on the radar, can you explain that? I love to walk, but a big no running. Yeah, Michelle, so when we're talking about verga or rain, like, you can see the streaks of rain, but they're not reaching the ground. It's because there's, so from here, where you're at in the ground, to where the clouds are,
Yep.
there's usually dry air.
Yeah.
So if there's a big support of dry air, the rain will fall, but it dissipates because of that drier air.
It kind of gets like choked out, but the dry air like kind of kills the moisture.
Yes.
It's so dry at the surface. It's kind of like the same when you're seeing like the snow melt before it hits the ground because it's a little bit warmer outside. It's when we have dry air instead of moist air at the ground. It can't survive.
So the best way to imagine this is like, imagine a multi-layered pie, or like something that has many layers. Like, that is just us to the clouds. Like, it depends on 20, 30, 40, 50,000 feet. Every layer is a little bit different. So at the surface, you go up 100 feet even, it's going to be a little bit different. So when you look at freezing rain, you have, you know, the cool air at the surface, and then there's a sliver of warm air, and then there's cold air above it. So you have the snow, gets into that warm layer, melts it back to moisture, rain, precipitation, and then once it gets to the surface, it's again cold, it starts freezing rain. So in the summer, you tend to get, you know, well, it might be warm and muggy at the surface.
Right.
In the middle, there's just drier air,
Yeah.
which is, you know, a choke-off point for moisture. Above that is another moist level. So you have the clouds raining.
Wanting to rain.
It's raining, but then you can see the streaks just kind of end.
Yeah.
And that's where that dry layer is. And then once it gets where it should be to us for some rain, it's just not supportive. You might
Just
get a drop
muggy.
or two.
Yeah.
It's just moisture at the surface.
Yeah.
So that's how that works when we say it's not reaching the ground.
And you can see that on radar. The
Light
reason why you might
returns.
see it, it's because when the radar is going around, it's picking up things in the atmosphere. It's picking up things at the layer, and sometimes they might be able to actually see the rain in the atmosphere,
Right.
but then they're picking up, being like, okay, we can see it, but it's never reaching the ground. Sometimes, depending on where you are too, it's actually birds.
Yep.
It's bugs.
Actually, I just saw a post the other day, which I had no idea this was possible, and I did some research on it. They can pick up, with temperature inversion, they pick up traffic. So when
Really?
you see like intense reds and stuff on a roadway, it's usually temperature inversion, which is bending the radar, and you're picking up traffic. So I'll show you the post.
Really?
I saved it on my phone actually. I'll see if I can put this into so you guys can see it during the run back of this podcast.
That's interesting.
I saved it somewhere right here. It's called ducting. D-U-C-T-I-N-G. Ducting.
Okay.
Stop. Yes, I understand it's a screenshot. Let me look at my screenshot.
That's
There we go. So here you go. It's all because of a temperature inversion. So temperature inversion, we've explained on
Whoa.
Beyond the Forecast. Temperature inversions can play mind games with you both over the lakes visually or can really impact your weather.
interesting.
So I explained it when we were on Mackinac Island. We did a Mackinac Island episode of Beyond the Forecast. There's this thing called Fata Morgana, which is the ability to see mirages over a long period.
Yes.
When the temperature inversion's happening, it bends light. So if you've ever seen or heard of the ghost ship, what is it called? Oh, shoot. SpongeBob reference.
Oh, I don't know. But I know what you're talking about.
But anyway, I always do this. I always forget the name of it. But anyway, you can see like Chicago from 50 miles away, or you can see Milwaukee across Lake Michigan.
Yes.
It's not because the Earth is flat. It's because of temperature inversion.
Yes.
So the temperature inversion, it's cooler or warmer aloft, and it's bending light, and it will actually reflect
What
the image of Milwaukee or Chicago.
Right.
It happens to Toronto from Buffalo, or it'll make a freighter look like it is floating. That is Fata Morgana. So the temperature inversion makes the rays of light bounce and then actually pulls the thing up, and it looks like an extended ghost ship or it's a
Right.
mirage,
Right.
and it looks mirrored. Actually, I took a photo of it from Mackinac Bridge.
Oh,
We were
really?
coming back from Mackinac Island,
Mm-hmm.
and Fata Morgana was making the bridge look like there was two bridges. So on the
Really?
opposite side, there was another bridge. My sister's like, "What is that? There's another bridge?" I was like, "No, that's actually Mirage."
Yeah, that's
So
cool.
the temperature inversion, because it was very warm
When you were
air-wise,
getting back, yeah.
but over the water was very cold.
Cold, yeah.
It was actually mocking the bridge. So that is called Fata Morgana, but that's temperature inversion, and that's how you can see things very far away over open area. If you're driving on a hot road and you see the air rising because of
Yeah.
the heat, you start seeing things on the distance that might not actually be
It
there.
looks like the water whenever you see the pond of water on
Yep.
the.
Temperature inversion.
Yeah.
So there you go. So that's kind of how that all works. Are you going to be able to see the air show from your building? I would hope so. We're right downtown.
Are we not being seen right now?
Oh no, what happened? What'd you guys do? Who broke us? It really did break.
Yeah.
You guys are hearing us but don't see us. Uh-oh. Who broke it?
Oh no.
Did our battery die?
Maybe.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay, please hold. I'll get a
Yeah.
battery. Keep talking.
This is crazy. Anyways, I don't know if we'll be able to see it. Okay. Thank you. Yes, I'll tell Michael that it said change battery pack soon. That's funny.
See, this is what
it
happens.
said change battery pack soon.
Did it?
It did, yeah. That's what who said that? Nathan. Thank you, Nathan. I don't know if we'll be able to see the air show from our building.
Yes, we will. We're right downtown.
And we're back.
There. See? Chat, you need to tell us that.
Yeah, so
See, this is why I usually have a dummy battery that I can plug in
Smart.
But see, I'm not at home. This is my stuff that I have set up. Yeah, we should be able to see it. We're at 8th and Cass, so like we're right downtown.
Yeah, we should be able to see
The
it. I
park's
don't
right
see
down
why
there.
not.
Also, never knew about temperature inversion.
Yeah.
Temperature inversions are super cool. They can play mind games with you.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the difference between the levels of the surface and up towards the clouds.
Yeah.
Also, hence why you see contrails sometimes, not chemtrails, contrails and non-contrails, the temperature inversion. Because when it can condensate, you get contrails. When it can't, when the atmosphere is warmer, like, so that's how all this works, right? If there's moisture coming from something, like an exhaust, and your temperature will condensate, you get contrails. When it's either extremely windy or the temperature is different, you don't get contrails.
Right.
Which, we'll save this for the next episode.
I was gonna say,
but
this
conspiracy
is like deep
theories,
diving.
deep dive on
into
Twitter
something.
is so annoying. I just want to be like, no, the whole radar sites that are changing our weather
I
or
actually
weather
just
control,
saw,
and they see.
Did you see the Facebook post this morning on broadcasters?
I can't. I don't.
Someone posted saying like, does anyone think that the conspiracy theories have gotten like heightened in the past
Oh, yeah, they
3
have.
weeks? And I was like, oh.
I don't know what it is. Something in the water or the moon. But
the moon, 'cause the moon-
somebody posted a picture of like the United States, and all the radar sites were showing ground clutter, which happens every morning. Every morning. And it's again because of the sun and rays and temperature inversion. Blah,
birds,
blah,
like literally
Right.
everything.
blah. Everything. It's more sensitive in the morning. But somebody's like, look at it. It's all going off at once. Next red sites. Blah. It's controlling the weather. I was like, oh my goodness gracious. And it had like thousands upon thousands of commenters and supporters. I was like, oh, I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here.
Wrong post.
And the thing is, like, I can't even comment something because they'd be like, no.
no one believes it.
Science deniers. But it's fine.
Drives me insane.
So we'll save that for a different
That's the
episode.
next conversation.
So, all right, we've been with you guys for 40 minutes, so we got to
Yes.
call it there.
Yes.
But thank you guys for being here so much. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions about maybe conspiracy theories or like weather myths that you've heard and you want to know about,
We can break it down
let
for
us
you.
know. We'll try to break it down. 'Cause
Science
maybe
it for
there,
you.
sometimes there
Science.
is like the mirage and stuff like that. Like,
Fata Morgana.
yeah, there is some little freaky things weather can do. So maybe it is weather, or sometimes maybe it's fake.
That's what we're here for. So
On the helpline.
on the helpline, call us. Appreciate you guys being here, though.
Yes, thank you.
And we will be back next week.
Yes.
You'll also be able to catch us on Beyond the Forecast later this
course.
afternoon, where we'll explain more fun science weather.
Yeah.
So appreciate
See
you
you
all.
guys then.
Be good, stay safe, stay cool.
Stay cool. Stay hydrated.
Yes. Bye, everybody.
Bye.